Clutch closers. I know we talk all the time about effective listening and effective questioning, but it is time to stop asking questions that you cannot afford a no to. Do you want to go on a test drive? Oh my God, is this one? If they say no, where do you have to go? Do you want to go on a test drive? Do you want to drive it? Would you like to drive it? Would you like to go on a test drive? You can't afford a no to that question. If they say no, where do you go from there? The odds are over 90% of the people who buy a vehicle are going to test drive it first. And if you're asking them if they want to drive it, if they want to go on a test drive, where do you go? So how exactly do we ask a customer if they want to go on a test drive without asking a customer if they want to go on a test drive? I'm going to tell you how you do it. You've got to have a strong walk around. Your walk around on the vehicle is where you start. When you start on that walk around, that's your place to shine, and it's the only place inside the whole deal where you get to sell yourself, the dealership, the vehicle. You get to talk about features, advantages, and benefits. The walk around's the only place to truly sell the sizzle. When you go to that steakhouse and that waitress walks by you and she's carrying that steak and the smell's wafting throughout the whole place and the sizzle, you just hear those little it's just hitting that little plate and it's playing on your ears, your nose, your eyes. All of a sudden, all your senses are engaged. They can take that one little cheap sirloin they just passed off, and all of a sudden the sales start skyrocketing. This is your place to sell the sizzle. You start at the driver's door. You start selling the sizzle as you move around to the vehicle. You end at the driver's door, and then when you sit down, this is how you ask for the test drive. Mr. Customer, there's something else I need to show you. Have a seat right here. When you pull out, take a left. That's clutch. Do you want me to get the keys? This kind of goes along with, do you want to go on a test drive? What do you mean do you want to get the keys? So how do you ask the car? No, I don't want you to get the keys. I don't want you to get the keys. What are you looking for when you ask the customer, do you want me to get the keys to the vehicle? Would you like for me to get the keys? Do you want me to get the keys? How many professional ways can you ask and get a no from, do you want me to get the keys? You can't afford a no. If they say no, where else do you go? You can't open the vehicle without the keys. You can't do a great jam up, steak sizzling walk around without the keys. They can't go on a test drive without the keys. So how do you get the keys? Now, in this part, you've got to pay attention. As soon as you see their eyes light on something, as soon as you walk down or you get to that vehicle that you want to show them, let me show you how you ask them, do you want me to get the keys? Wait 1 second, I'll be right back. And you're back with the key. That'd be good if I had keys in my hand right there, wouldn't it? And I'm back, and guess what I have? I've got the keys. So now that you got the keys, what exactly are you going to do with them? There's opportunity for you to show off. Maybe that thing's got remote start on it, right? You can hit it from the other side of the lot. You hit the start, it cranks up beside the customer. Believe it or not, that still gets some people. They see that thing start up, that's still magic, man. Where does that come from? There's nobody sitting in the car. The thing cranks on its own. It's time to start showing a little bit of magic. You open up the car door. You get inside, you turn the air conditioner on if it's hot outside. You turn the heater on if it's a little cool outside. You sit down, you pull the seat all the way back. You put the steering wheel all the way up. When you were in their trade-in earlier, when you looked at their trade, do you remember what radio station it was on? You turn it to the radio station. You turn it down low. We got some familiarity going on. You pull the vehicle out away from all the other vehicles. Now you get out, and it's time for that second part we talked about earlier. Sell the sizzle. Do you want to see some numbers? What? Well, if we talk in percentage of car deals, you may have a very, very small percentage who buys a car without test driving it. You may have a very small percentage who make all their buying decision away from the dealership, and you might not have to go get the keys because you're on the phone, because you're on the internet. But you're never going to have anybody buy a vehicle without actually going over numbers, without them actually knowing what they're paying for it. If they say no, let's do that again. Would you like to see some numbers? No. Where are you going with that? You cannot afford a no here. Before I was clutch in the close, I asked my customers, do you want to see numbers? And when they said no, I didn't have anywhere else to go. But now, when I'm done with the test drive and we pull up to the dealership, we get out of the vehicle, there's 3 questions that I ask every time that transitions to numbers. Do you like the vehicle? Do you like the vehicle well enough to own it? Do you like the vehicle well enough to own it today if I can figure out how to fit it in your family's budget? Once you have a yes to all 3 of those questions, the next thing is, great, follow me. Everything else from that point is assumed. It's time to assume the sale. They liked the vehicle. They liked it well enough to own it. They liked it well enough to own it today if you can figure out how to fit it inside their family's budget. And not one time did we ask them, would you like to see numbers? It was great. Follow me. One thing every clutch closer understands is that you can't always do it alone. A lot of times we need help and we have to know how to use that help. That's clutch in closing, is understanding when and how I need help. And that's why this last question that you can never afford a no to always flies all over me. Would you like to talk to my manager? Who in the world wants to talk to your manager, and why in the world do they want to talk to him? What are they going to talk about? Is this the guy? What you just set them up for is, hey, would you like for me to bring in the guy who's going to put all the pressure on you? He's the one that's going to lie to you. He's the one that's going to cheat to you. This is the guy that's going to figure out how to separate you from your money because he's so much better than me. It almost sounds like you need a ring on your pinky finger when you say, would you like to talk to my manager? You can't afford a no to that question, and you still need the help of your manager sometime to close a car deal, but trust me, nobody wants to talk to your manager. Your manager is nobody special in their life. They can make decisions on their own, and they should be able to make them all with you. So how do you get help? Mr. Customer, that it seems like there's one little sticking point that we might not be able to find. Hold on, there's one more thing I think I need to show you. Wait right here. I'm going to get my manager, of course. I haven't been able to remove all the fear, the uncertainty, the doubt. There's one objection that I haven't been able to get to. For whatever reason, they haven't felt like they can confide it in me. So I need to go get my manager for help. So stop asking questions that we cannot afford a no to. Think to yourself before you ask the question, if you cannot afford a no to this question, maybe we don't need to be asking it in the first place. Is there a different way we can ask that question? And when you start figuring that out, that is clutch in the close, and you are a clutch closer. And if you want to get better at being clutch closing, remember, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell down there on the side, the little bell so you can get the alerts. And if you like it enough, you can give it a thumbs up. You get, I can't afford a no to that question though, but how do I, just give me a thumbs up, please. I need thumbs up.